All right, let's dive into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, most debated endings in modern literature, the final chapter of Lois Lowry's The Giver. We're going to break down Jonas's incredible journey of sacrifice, what memory really means, and that huge question mark of hope at the very end.
This whole story really boils down to a question that I think hits home for a lot of us. What actually gives us the strength to keep fighting when it feels like all hope is gone? For Jonas, this isn't some philosophical question. He has to answer it in the most brutal way imaginable. And man, the book does not waste any time setting the stakes. Right away, as Jonas is getting closer to what he thinks is the end of his journey, we get this line, but he had little hope left that he would be able to reach it. So it's not just that it's hard, in his own mind, it's already starting to feel impossible.
So, this is it. We're at the edge of despair. We're with Jonas and baby Gabriel, and they are trekking through what feels like the absolute freezing end of the world.
Imagine this. The entire world just vanishes into white. The air gets so cold it physically hurts to breathe. And whatever little hope Jonas was clinging to, well, it's starting to flicker out. And here's the real gut punch. He feels like he's so close to Elsewhere, but the swirling snow makes it feel a million miles away.
Okay, so for you and me, snow is, well, it's snow. We know what it is. But you have to remember, for Jonas, this is something almost alien. It's a nearly forgotten perception. He has a faint memory of it being beautiful, but right here, right now, it's a deadly, suffocating enemy. It's such a stark way to show how far he's come from his safe, controlled world. And then we get this really symbolic moment. The bike, his last piece of technology from home, his final link to that old life. It just gives out. It's stuck. So he just lets it fall. And you can feel the temptation, right? To just give up, lie down, and let the snow cover him. But he can't, because he has Gabriel.
This is where things get really interesting. We're talking about a memory of warmth. And this is not just some fuzzy feeling. This is about how something as abstract as love, as a memory, becomes a literal, physical tool for survival. And you see this incredible internal struggle, right? He pulls up this precious memory of sunshine, and for just a split second, he's like, this is mine. I need this to survive. But then that moment passes. His love for this little baby Gabriel is so strong it actually overrides his most basic human instinct for self-preservation. It's an incredible act of sacrifice. So he gets locked into this brutal, heartbreaking cycle. First, he gives the memory to Gabriel. Then they get a brief hit of warmth, a little burst of strength. But just as quickly, the memory fades away into the freezing air. The cold crashes back in, and he has to repeat it all over again, knowing he's using up a finite resource. And all of this is happening during what you can only call the agonizing ascent. This isn't just a walk up a hill, it's a climb that is pushing him past every physical and mental limit he has. The climb is just torturous. The snow's getting deeper and deeper, and with every step, he stumbles. Until, finally, he's down. He's on his knees, and he just can't get up. The cold is winning. But somehow, for Gabriel, he digs deep, finds one more tiny wisp of a memory, and impossibly, he stands. But here's the catch, the terrible cost. Every time he does this, the memory fades, and he's left even colder than he was before. He's literally burning through his memories to stay alive, and that hill just keeps on going. And then, right at the very top of the hill, when you think it's all over, everything flips. This is what the book calls the joyful return, and it's where he discovers a totally different kind of memory. It's this weird, beautiful paradox, right? The book says it flat out. He was not warmer, he was not less exhausted. So physically, he's done for. But inside, out of nowhere, he starts to feel happy. I mean, how does that even work? So what's going on here? Well, it seems there are two types of memory at play. The given memories he got from the giver, those were like tools, right? They were thin, he had to force them out, and they were running low. But these are his own memories. His life, his friends, his family, the love he felt. They're an effortless part of him, and they feel infinite. And that feeling, that deep, personal joy, is what launches him into one of the most famous and debated endings ever written. This is the echo of home, a final ride down into light, sound, and a whole lot of mystery. And get this, with his last bit of strength, he finds a sled. A sled! I mean, come on, that's the very first memory of pure joy he ever received. It feels like his whole journey has come full circle, like this was always meant to be waiting for him right here. As he's sliding down this hill, he sees lights ahead, but he knows, deep down, they're not just any lights. They're coming from homes. Homes where people have families and real memories and celebrate love. It's the very thing his community erased, the very thing he was fighting to find. Then another sense kicks in. For the very first time in his entire life, he hears music, real music, people singing. Can you even imagine that? It's the final proof that he's arrived somewhere totally different, a place that is alive with everything his old world was missing. And then we get the final haunting lines. He looks back, and he thinks he hears music from where he came from too. But then that phrase, "but perhaps it was only an echo." And boom, that one sentence just throws everything we just saw into question, doesn't it? And that's where we're left, with that one huge, beautiful question. Did they make it? Was Elsewhere a real place they reached? Or was this whole beautiful scene a final, perfect memory, a comforting vision as they finally drifted off in the snow? The book never gives us an answer. It leaves it up to you to decide.